In 2015, a small school called the Citadel marched into South Carolina's stadium and handed the Gamecocks their first loss to an FCS team in 25 years. And remember Howard, a 45-point underdog, stunning UNLV in the biggest point spread upset ever. College football isn't always kind to the Giants. Today we'll revisit 4 astonishing games, unforgettable moments where underdogs, armed only with determination and daring, toppled titans and shocked the sports world. They rewrote history and reminded everyone why we truly love this unpredictable sport of football. To kick things off, we need to rewind to September 2017. Howard University, an FCS school from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, stepped onto the field against UNLV in Las Vegas. Let's be honest here, nobody gave Howard even the smallest chance. Why would they? UNLV was a huge FBS school, powerful and well-funded, ready to steamroll the smaller squad from Howard. The point spread going into this game was staggering. Howard was a 45-point underdog. Yep, 45 points. If you were betting on Howard, well, you might as well just toss your money into a fire pit, right? Not really, because Howard came out ready to make history. Howard had a secret weapon, freshman quarterback Caylin Newton. If his name sounds familiar, it should. He's the younger brother of NFL superstar Cam Newton. So football clearly runs in the family. Newton didn't just play well, he played lights out. He dominated on offense, rushing for 190 yards and scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. Through the air, he added 140 passing yards and another tutty. This guy was unstoppable. But the game was not an easy one. Howard jumped out early to a 21-9 lead, leaving UNLV's home crowd stunned and silent. Just when fans thought Howard would roll easily, UNLV woke up and scored 24 unanswered points. Suddenly, UNLV was back on top, leading 33-21 late in the third quarter. Everyone watching figured, okay, good run Howard, but this Cinderella story is now over. Hold that thought. Howard had other ideas. 2 quick touchdowns by Anthony Filial, first a 3-yard run, then an 11-yard dash, flipped the scoreboard yet again. With just 7 minutes left, UNLV squeezed back ahead 40-36, but Caylin Newton wasn't finished. With just one last powerful drive, Newton punched in a 4-yard run to give Howard the unbelievable 43-40 lead. They held tight to that lead, stunning the entire sports world. To put this into perspective, let me explain something important. Before Howard's shocking win, teams favored by 40 points or more had a record of 253-0, straight up. That means they never lost one of those games. You heard me right, 0 losses. Howard literally did what no team had ever done before. And here's a fun fact, UNLV actually paid Howard $600,000 just to show up and lose. Imagine paying your own conqueror to come to your home field and beat you, and paying him $600,000 to say the least. That has to sting. But if you thought Howard's upset was wild, just wait until you hear what Butler University did in 2018. Now, Butler is famous for basketball. Remember when they almost beat Duke for the basketball national championship in 2010? But football, not so much. Butler football plays in the Pioneer League, meaning they offer 0 athletic scholarships. Not a very good league for football, if I might say. Players literally pay for school out of pocket or rely on academic scholarships or part-time jobs. So you've got to respect these guys balancing football practice with classwork and real-life jobs. A little bit different than the NIL era we're used to. On September 1st, 2018, Butler traveled to play Youngstown State, a football giant with 63 scholarships, a massive athletic budget, and incredible training facilities. In fact, Youngstown State played in the FCS National Championship just 2 seasons earlier. Butler, meanwhile, showed up on 2 buses after a 5-hour drive, players watching movies like Step Brothers along the way. Pretty relaxed preparation, right? At kickoff, Youngstown State was supposed to crush Butler effortlessly, but if you know college football, you know supposed to rarely happens. Butler fought hard, trailing late in the 4th quarter, but then quarterback Will Marty connected on a clutch touchdown pass to bring them within 1 point. Butler went for a gutsy 2-point conversion but failed, leaving them down by a single heartbreaking point. With only 80 seconds left in the game, Butler's only hope was an onside kick, a low probability play that rarely ever works. But somehow, Butler's receiver Pace Temple leaped into action and recovered the ball, giving Butler one final miracle chance. The Bulldogs moved quickly, driving 27 yards into field goal range. Kicker Drew Bevelheimer, nervous but determined, lined up for a high-pressure 44-yard field goal. He kicked it, he mishit it badly, actually, but somehow the ball wobbled just over the crossbar. Butler had taken a 23-21 lead with 4 seconds left. Youngstown State tried one desperate return, but Butler shut it down instantly. The Bulldogs had pulled off a 63 scholarship upset, a nearly impossible achievement, leaving Youngstown State's fans absolutely speechless. Now let's dive deep into one of college football's wildest and most shocking upsets ever. It's November 1st, 2015. The Citadel Bulldogs, a tiny, disciplined military college team from the FCS level, roll into Columbia, South Carolina. And waiting for them there, of course, are the South Carolina Gamecocks, proud members of the mighty SEC, arguably the best conference in sports. Here's the thing. This matchup was not supposed to be competitive. South Carolina might have been struggling, entering the game with a disappointing 3-7 record, but this was still an SEC powerhouse, a program that hadn't lost to an FCS opponent in 25 years. And who was that last FCS team to humble them back then? You guessed it, none other than the Citadel Bulldogs. Now let me explain something about the Citadel. They don't play flashy football. They run something called the triple option offense, an old school strategy relying on misdirection, discipline, and smart decision making rather than size, speed, or flashy athleticism. Basically, it's football chess on grass. So as the game kicked off, the Citadel knew their strategy had to be executed perfectly to even have a prayer in this game. And you know what? They started strong. Tyler Renew, a tough and gritty running back, burst through the Gamecocks defensive line early in the first quarter. He sprinted through tackles for a 56-yard touchdown run that had the crowd rubbing their eyes in disbelief in Columbia. South Carolina linebacker Gerald Dixon lunged desperately, but Renew shook him off like he was swatting a fly. Just like that, the Citadel was on the scoreboard and South Carolina fans were starting to shift nervously in their seats. Still, most fans thought this early scare would slowly slip away. After all, the Gamecocks couldn't really lose the Citadel again, right? No shot that happened. But here's where things get tricky. Despite their superior size and talent, South Carolina struggled to figure out that pesky triple option. The Citadel chewed the clock, executed play after methodical play, frustrating South Carolina's talented defenders who kept getting fooled by misdirection. The Bulldogs clung tightly to their slim lead, but South Carolina clawed back, leading late into the fourth quarter 22-17. With about 6 minutes left, the Citadel faced a crucial 3rd and 1 at their own 44-yard line. A stop here and the Gamecocks probably lock up the win, breathing a massive sigh of relief. But hold on tight, here comes Tyler Renew again. South Carolina's defense, anxious and desperate, overcommitted on the fake handoff. Suddenly, the middle opened up like the Red Sea parting, and Renew bolted straight through it. He sprinted untouched 56 yards to the house, his legs churning, eyes wide, heart pounding. The stadium went eerily silent, except for the Citadel sideline going absolutely wild. The single run gave the Citadel a stunning 23-22 lead. Fans in garnet and black were shocked, their mouths wide open, thinking, are we seriously about to lose to them again? But wait, if you think the drama was done, nope, not even close. South Carolina wasn't giving up without one last fight. With 45 seconds remaining in the game, backed up to their own 6-yard line and facing 4th down, South Carolina quarterback Perry Orth took the snap, eyes scanning the field desperately. He launched a deep bomb downfield to star receiver Farrell Cooper, who played in the NFL, who snagged the ball perfectly, sprinting an unbelievable 94 yards into the end zone. Gamecocks fans erupted, jumping and screaming, convinced they just witnessed a miracle win. But hold that celebration. Flags littered the field. A false start penalty erased the miracle touchdown from existence, ripping victory away from the Gamecocks just as suddenly as it had appeared. The stadium plunged back into stunned silence. Citadel held firm to the final desperate seconds, cementing their shocking 23-22 upset. They had done what seemed impossible, taking down an SEC giant on their own turf, a victory so sweet it probably deserved a parade back home in Charleston. To put this into perspective, this was the first time since 2010 an FCS team had beaten an SEC squad. And for South Carolina, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was history repeating itself with the same small school haunting them down the street a quarter century later. Even crazier, South Carolina had paid the Citadel hundreds of thousands of dollars just to show up and lose, an expensive and bitter pill to swallow. As for Tyler Renew, he became an instant legend, his name etched permanently in Citadel football lore, a hero who showed exactly why we love this sport. Sometimes the underdogs don't just bark, they bite. Now finally, let's jump into the thriller from 2016, where James Madison University shocked North Dakota State, one of college football's most powerful dynasties. Before this game, North Dakota State had dominated the FCS for 5 years straight, winning the championship every single year from 2011 to 2015. North Dakota State at home was like playing against an unstoppable juggernaut. Visiting teams rarely stood a chance. James Madison arrived as a clear underdog despite their respectable ranking at number 4. On December 16, 2016, James Madison entered North Dakota State's intimidating Fargo Dome, a place that struck fear into opponents. But JMU running back Khalid Abdullah showed zero fear, slashing through North Dakota State's famously tough defense. Abdullah torched them for 180 yards, adding another 51 receiving yards, scoring touchdowns and leaving defenders scrambling all game long. JMU raced out to a shocking 17-0 early lead, but North Dakota State wouldn't roll over that easily. The Bison fought back fiercely, tying things up 17-all in the third quarter. The crowd exploded, momentum seemed to shift, but JMU stayed calm. Kicker Tyler Gray nailed a career-long 45-yard field goal to take back the lead, and quarterback Brian Shore threw a pinpoint 25-yard touchdown pass late to seal the incredible 27-17 upset victory. North Dakota State fans were stunned. 5 years of dominance halted on their home turf. JMU advanced, riding high on one of the biggest playoff upsets ever. So here's what all these upsets teach us about college football. No matter how big the powerhouse, no matter how impossible the odds, underdogs can shock the world. Upsets like these remind us why we love college football, because every Saturday holds potential for surprises, chaos, and history-making moments. If you enjoyed revisiting these amazing underdog victories, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap that bell icon to turn on notifications, and stay tuned for more thrilling sports stories coming your way.